dandy info cards. Let's check out Team Snowflake, the only team we haven't checked out yet with these info cards. Their lineup is looking like Faye, Idra, Keelax, LZ Gamer, and Liquid Chef. People are going to be really familiar with a few of these players. Idra, LZ Gamer, and Liquid Chef come from StarCraft 2. I know Zoya was bagging on them a little bit earlier. Not them specifically, but SC2 players. Let's see if they can work on their interviews. If they win the game, maybe we'll get a shot at talking to one of them. What do you think about this lineup? We know that Faye and LZ Liquid Chef are the most recent additions, Zoya.
You know, from what I've seen, they've been struggling with the new lineup. You know, we saw the two new pickups. Liquid Chef, he is very good, but he's still relatively new to Heroes compared to the rest of us. I believe he played for like a week and then came back a few months later. You know, so we've been playing consistently from the start. So he's doing great. But I don't know. Snowflake seems to be, before they were contender for #2 slot easily. And yeah. From what I've seen from their scrims and their streams, they're struggling to find the perfect flow. Whether it seems to hit every part of their play, whether it's from the drafting phase or just working together as a team. And we'll have to see how they play in today's match.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking a little bit on the rocks, maybe. And they're going up against powerhouse of the division, Team Glorious. So we saw these guys already. Cawthon, Glaurung, Soma, Syracuse, ZPs. We're going to give Glaurung another shot to steal your guys' souls. You can catch him if you want to on Twitter or Twitch, along with the rest of his team. Well, we know these players. Let's get to know the game. Let's head to that draft phase.
Draft, man. Get it on.
Boom. We've got Snowflake versus Glorious here in the pick ban phase. Snowflake is the team on the left. They're going to have first ban, first pick, and Team Glorious on the right with that second ban, second pick. Snowflake banning out that Stitches, Glorious responding with Tyrael, and then we see Tychus traded for Arthas basically, and the draft progresses from there. So these bans are a little unusual, Zoya. Stitches is kind of common, but Tyrael, this is the first time we've ever seen him banned. What do you think about that?
I think both of these bans were respect bans. Obviously, the Stitches to stop Glaurung. Glaurung has probably the nastiest Stitches in the whole alpha. And Tyrael probably to shut down LZ Gamer. LZ Gamer has a wicked sick Tyrael play. I think that's all these were respect bans. Is just don't let these guys get these characters.
Yeah. I mean, we've definitely seen Snowflake make really good use of that Tyrael. One of the first teams to bring him onto the competitive scene and play him really aggressively in the ECS. So solid ban there. And then we see the final lineups end up being Tychus, Vala, Uther, Sonya, Tassadar against Arthas, Brightwing, Falstad, Zeratul, Raynor. Now off the top of my head, the first things that pop out of me is Team Glorious got Brightwing Falstad, which can be kind of awkward with the double map mobility, double bribe. But Team Snowflake looks like they have a really strong team fight. Really strong.
So it's kind of funny to see the Brightwing Falstad go to Glorious because week 1, all 3 matches that Snowflake played, they had Brightwing Falstad. So this is a composition they're very familiar with. They're going to know how to deal with it. The map mobility is brutal, like you said. I mean, I look at both these team comps, and they're both really well-rounded. There's not anything I look at this and go, why did they do that? I mean, even the Raynor pick, once Raynor hits level 16, you mix in that Arthas with the Executioner. Raynor has some insane damage. So even Raynor, I mean, pre-16, he's pretty useless, but once he hits 16 with the Arthas combo, he's brutal, man.
Yeah, definitely. Arthas giving 100% of time Executioner is going to be really relevant for Raynor there. It also frees up a talent for him at 13, which is pretty important. He doesn't have to take the Art of War talent if he doesn't want to at 13. Yep. So it's almost like he gets 2 extra talents from having Arthas on his team.
Yeah, I mean, both these comps are going to be good. It's hard to say which team is just going to win based off comp. They're both really good. I don't.
Yeah. Well, if they're both really good, the game should be really good. So Let's get to it. Here we are, Snowflake versus Glorious. Are you at 5 seconds?
I am
speed?
at 5 seconds. And
good
at
to go.
Speed. We are good,
awesome.
Man.
Well, here we have Team Glorious on the blue team, starting it out in 3, 2, 1. The ZP's leading the charge on that orange Sherbert, Unicorn, Arthas, Syracuse on Raynor, Glaurung on the Zeratul, Soma on Brightwing, and then Cawthon on the Falstad.
And then in the red trunks, we have Team Snowflake. We have Keelax on the Barbarian, LZ Gamer on Tastar, Faye on Tychus, Liquid Sheth on the Uther, and rounding out the team, we have Idra on Vala.
Master skin Vala, eh?
Yeah. It's,
good.
I mean, I think all the Master skins look pretty good. There's no Master skins for any of the heroes I play. For some reason, they don't want to release Witch Doctor and Murky Master skins. It's really upsetting.
Yeah, well, you know, equality on the
Where's
Nexus,
the Murky
please.
love, man? Come on.
There is no Murky love. Nobody loves Murky.
Only me.
Out of every 10 players who see Murky, there's one who loves him, and that's the one who plays him.
That would be me, I guess.
Yeah, well, we see Team Glorious making a death push here. They might catch Keelax, but he jukes the Arthas route, and it looks like he's going to make it out. They don't have quite enough damage there. If they had been committed to that death push, they might have had it, but they didn't quite have Cawthon Luck or Syracuse in position, so he's just going to walk away.
The party bush was not enough. We do see that it looks like it's going to be Glaurung and ZP roaming. Cawthon Luck going to sit in middle. We have the Brightwing top. Really good positioning from Snowflake, and I really can't argue with the positioning from Glorious as well.
Yeah. Oh, Snowflake coming in. They want this Brightwing. They knew he was up top. Immediate polymorph on Barbarian, but he's still going to go down.
Good first blood.
That was a really, really impressive gank by Snowflake. They knew Brightwing was up there, and they just were patient enough to wait out the Brightwing when he had to leave the brush and then go and get him. Really,
good
really
response
clever
from
play.
Cawthon Luck, flying up top, allowing Soma to re-teleport back up there, so they didn't miss any lane experience.
Yeah, and Cawthon Luck looked a little sketchy going down in the jungle that path, but he doesn't manage to get any damage on him or picked out or anything, so good for him. That's going to put Snowflake in a commanding position. They should have a slight experience lead with their first blood experience, so we're going to have to see how that works for their favor.
Well, we do see that Knight is falling. Most people ignore the Plant Terror at this point. It just spawns a bit too early, but they did make the map a little bit better. You can do Merc camps at night, so it's...
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since the change. You know, people thought the map was better, but still had problems. Is that what you're still feeling right now? Do you still feel there's a problem with this map?
Yeah, I think maybe the early game plant is just not powerful enough, but it looks like Arthas also not powerful enough. Liquid Chef's just casually getting rooted there, does not care. Keelax looking for the re-engage, get some damage on ZPs, but it doesn't really matter. Both teams actually having 3 people in this top lane means that neither of them are really going to get too much done. With the healer on each side, there's just not really enough damage to make stuff really happen, so we're likely to see some poking and skirmishing, but no one fall down up here. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we have this Vala versus Raynor match, 1v1, and we have the Tastar versus Falstad match, 1v1. And we're just not seeing a lot of action here. Barbarian sneaking off to do the Knights, though.
Yeah, Barbarian really good at soloing the Knights at this level using that Whirlwind. Should be able to take that, no problem. Might need a help from a little bit of it, but should be fine. And everyone's just soaking experience right now. I mean, everyone's ignoring the plant right now. It's just too early. Like, it's just too weak early on. You know, it's not the fact that it takes forever to get the seeds. It's just the fact, like, why would you collect the seeds now when you're not going to be needing the plant terror until at least a 10-15 minute mark?
Yeah, and another thing we're noticing here is Glaurung on the Zeratul is not being particularly effective in his roaming. Like, he's sitting in this brush, he hasn't gotten anything done yet, and his chance is going to be here if Idra on this Demon Hunter steps up and starts to fight with Syracuse, but if he doesn't, he's just going to be wasting his time down here, and that's going to be a problem for them because they have night camps that they need to deal with on the top side, and they could use Glaurung's help for that. But Idra is fighting Syracuse. Oh, Glaurung doesn't get the Singularity Spike, it actually whiffs, and Idra lives.
He would have died too.
Yeah, he would have died.
From Glaurung. Idra going to go back and heal 2 full. Top lane Knights are doing a good amount of damage. ZP is doing the best he can to clear this up. It's getting cleared. But unfortunately, both the towers have used all of their ammo, so this is going to make it easy for Team Snowflake to push this lane in a bit.
Yeah, Team Snowflake definitely taking the early game mercenary advantage here. They've gotten a night camp, and now they have an ogre camp in mid that they're going to get some damage on the mid lane as well with. So, pretty interesting to see them do that, and Team Glorious now using their bribes, finally using those. They're going to grab both of the ogre camps on their side of the map, and that's the strength of the double bribe we were talking about. Getting both of those at the same time makes it really difficult to deal with both effectively without really weakening your position on the other side of the map.
Yeah, definitely. It's a brutal combo, just having them both be able to fly around, either take Knights or take multiple giant or ogre camps. We'll have to see how this is utilized in the late game as well. Will we be seeing them just abuse this to its fullest, or... I mean, Snowflake is doing an excellent job of controlling the camps right now without it, so that's going to be the main contention point is Snowflake contested these.
Yep, and we see Team Glorious taking their own night camp now with strong 3-man. Coffin rotates back to the mid lane with that fly. So no experience missed there. Really good by them. And we see Team Glorious looks like they're trying to converge on this bottom lane. They want to help that night camp. They want to make sure it manages to kill those ogres. And Arthas Zeratul just forcing Demon Hunter back. And that's going to be those ogres going down. Night camp is victorious. I don't think we're going to see Raynor push with those. It looks like the team has already backed up towards the top lane. They're pretty sure they're not going to get anything bottom lane, so they've rotated out.
Yeah, I mean, this map is so big, and the lanes are pretty wide themselves. You know, on Haunted Mines, or excuse me, on Cursed. Actually, we have a dude again going down on Sheth. The Polymorph does go down. He's taking a lot of damage. Faye comes in trying to save him, forcing them to fall back. And will Liquid Chef get to the well in time? No, he does end up falling. So first kill going for Glorious being taken right there. Kills 1-1, but this map is just so big that it's very hard to gank effectively on this map. You know, there's so many angles you can see them coming from. I guess top lane is really the only gankable lane where we did see both the deaths happen, but even then, look how wide it is. It's so hard to secure early kills if people are playing safe.
Yeah, and we've seen neither of these teams jumping out to an early game lead. Whoa, we do see a gank going down on that bottom lane. It looks like Demon Hunter and Barbarian managed to snipe out Raynor, while Team Glorious had their focus on that topside plant terror. So Team Glorious has collected a reasonable number of seeds. They're up to 60, and Team Snowflake is at 30. Neither team close to getting the plant, but both sides able to get it if they do clean out that bottom side jungle.
Now, we are noticing that the Barbarian is doing an excellent job of making sure her Fury is topped off. We did see them take the talent level 1. I think it's called Shot of Fury, where you gain the extra 25 rage. And every time Kelex gets in the fight, he's, you know, has a good amount of rage just so he can plump out a little bit extra damage. We're going to see that here. Will it be enough?
He goes in on Cawthon Luck. He gets a huge leap, and they do manage to burst down that Falstad with just the Barbarian Uther damage, and that's going to be really good for them. But a huge root lands on 3 of the members, and it means that they can't follow up to punish Glorious anymore. ZPs comes back in on that Arthas, but it's not enough, and the plant is taken almost entirely by Team Snowflake.
Yeah, Snowflake wins that fight. Very one-sided, close 4-1. It was nice Void Prism, but unfortunately Glorious just wasn't able to react in time on it. And there we go. Nighttime is over. So yeah, 105 seeds to 75 in favor of Glorious, but I doubt we'll see either team take a plant terror anytime soon.
Yeah, so that is good that for Team Glorious, they managed to collect 105 seeds, so they have just enough to hit the breakpoint where they have a plant if they need it. It's unlikely they use that for the first night between now and the second night, but they might end up doing so. We see them now stealing the enemy ogre camp. That's pretty cute, using one bribe stack there and then Zeratul DPS down the rest. So Brightwing Zeratul sniping out those ogres, but Team Snowflake just going to head up there, clear those out, and probably just take their knights now.
Yep, that's what they're moving to do right now. And it looks like both teams are converging on that point. We might have another team fight here. Level is 12-12. No team has level 13. LZ Gamer does reveal the enemy team and sees that they're all there. Liquid Chef does get stunned here. He's a little bit out of position here. Gets Polymorph. Will he get the stun off? And he does land the Divine Form before he ends up falling, but he does die after all. He's trying to keep his team alive. 2 teammates have fallen for Glorious. A few more might fall as well. Glaurung is getting pretty low. Shelth is trying to do what he can as a Ghost Uther, but does not get any more. So 1 for 2. And that was with catching Uther a little bit out of position.
Yeah, actually it looked bad for Team Snowflake because it looked like Uther got caught, but the Barbarian got a huge leap in on 3 targets, and Uther chained that into a stun on 4 targets, basically turning the team fight around with those 2 ultimates, and then the DPS from Team Snowflake was just free to deal their damage, and they didn't manage to clean up a whole lot of kills, but they did get 2, and they secured the night camp, which was really good. So they didn't get their night camp taken, and they win the team fight. That's going to put them in a pretty good place. They're feeling comfortable now. They rotate down to the bottom, get those ogres, and it looks like they're going to put pressure on this fort.
And here we go. We do see all of Snowflake is going to push here. Will they be able to take the first fort of the game? LZ Gamer revealing the map. There is a Brightwing top lane. It is seen by Snowflake that she has the ability to just teleport back down. We're waiting on Sheth to get here. Ogres are pushing forward here. Luck is a little less than half. They do not have the well here, which is a pretty big advantage for Snowflake. And here comes Glaurung doing a little bit of damage to LZ. ZP taking some damage as well. And if they can just keep these giants alive and keep whittling down Glorious, they should have this fight no problem.
Yeah, but it looks like they're not going to be able to protect the ogres. The Uther heals just didn't come off cooldown in time. And that one is going to head down, and now they're in kind of an awkward position because these top ogres for Glorious are going to do a lot of damage to the front of that base. So Team Snowflake has to pull back, deal with top Siege Giants, and now Team Glorious is going to take their own Knights.
And both teams moving around the map. They want to take out these Giants top lane. Kill should be able to do that. No problem. There he goes, having that full rage bar. Allows him to do these things. It's something that most barbarians don't do. They'll just expend all the rage as fast as possible. But Keelak saves it for important moments because he knows in a situation like this where he needs to clear it fast and get back to his team.
Yeah, Fury management definitely an important part of high-level barbarian play. And now Keelak's a long way from the rest of his team. Snowflake is going to defend these Knights, though, because Team Glory is not willing to pull the trigger. They don't know where Keelak is. That flanking Barbarian lead could be a really huge deal for them. So they just get out, they took the Knights, they got the front of that base down, and they're going to be happy with that. We should be seeing the second Knight really soon, about to come up. Let's see if either of these teams puts an emphasis on these seeds, now that it's second Knight phase.
We'll have to see. We won't be seeing a plant terror, at least like you said, until the second daytime, or the third daytime rather, after this night's over. Will ZP be the only one to engage? He's going hard onto Chef right now. The Venom does go down, but he's still 5. But Leaf does hit 2 people there. Divine Storm only hitting 2 as well. Idra getting a full strafe off, doing a lot of damage. ZP is at half health. Keelak's gonna have to back off. He's barely keeping himself alive with that life steal. LZ Gamer has the phase shift. We have Faye still in the Odin right now. Rainer Banshees did get taken out, and looks like it's just going to be a, I guess that was a 0 for 1, huh?
Yeah, Team Snowflake actually losing one person and not able to get the damage they needed onto Team Glorious to secure any kills. There were a couple people really low after the Uther Barbarian ultimates, but it wasn't enough, and looks like Team Glorious is actually going to prevent them from getting the big plant terror, so that's going to be pretty bad for Snowflake. That's a lot of time they spent. They lost one person in a team fight, didn't get any kills back, and now they're going to lose their bottom fort.
Yep, that is going to fall. That will be, I guess, tying out the forts, 5-5 left for each team.
Yeah.
We do see that Giants are being taken by Snowflakes. Knights spawn soon. They both teams do have over the 100 seeds, so at this point, you know, it's just when they actually want to finally use it.
Yeah.
We're not even really seeing either team prioritize the seeds still at this point.
Yeah, both teams just being really, really careful. Like, they're taking these seeds because it's opportune. Both teams just taking the plant terrors because they know the other team is on the other side of the map and they're going to take it. So you'll see this very often. You'll see pretty much even trading of the seeds. We see them right now at 164 to 164, which is kind of unusual. But both teams realize, hey, the enemy team is doing the plants on the other side of the map, we need to take ours just to keep up, because in the hyper late game, like some of the games we've seen on Garden of Terror, in that hyper late game, having one more plant terror than the enemy can be the difference between winning the game and losing the game. Yeah. Once you're at that 25-30 minute mark on this map,
that's
where the plant is
by
so
hyper
powerful.
Late game, like the super late game.
Oh yeah, the hyper late game 30-minute MOBA match, yeah.
That's when it can definitely make a difference. Now both teams are 16 when you see the Siege Zones going towards Snowflake right now. Giants for Glorious pushing top. Right now it's just kind of both teams are just kind of maneuvering around the map. I mean, neither team really wants to engage into each other. It's hard to, like, when you're the engaging team, the other team is going to back up underneath fort. So unless you have like a heavy objective like Knights pushing, it's hard to push with your team right now for the fight on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. So we see both teams picking pretty normal heroic abilities as well. Nobody really stepping out of bounds with the heroic ability. You know, pretty normal stuff there, so no big surprises from either composition. And here we see Snowflake making a really good pressure play on this top side. They know Team Glorious isn't really in a position to threaten them there, so they're going to take his fort, although they're going to end up giving up mid-fort for that. Not the best. They had the Knights top. I guess they just wanted to force that down with those.
So they are collapsing here. Both teams just immediately backing off once they take the fort. Yeah, just kind of this is that map, guys. Hard to force fights. Just kind of roam from objective to objective.
Yeah, I mean, the next objective to come up is actually Team Glorious's Night Camp in 30 seconds, and that's where I would like to see Team Snowflake potentially make something happen. If you notice, all of Team Glorious has to be the top side to defend these Knights, and Team Snowflake, it looks like they're going to head to mid, but if they really wanted to, they could even swing down through the jungle and maybe get a party bush going near those Night Camps, because they know that's what Glorious is going to be going for as soon as they come up.
And it looks like that's what they're doing. They are swinging down into the jungle. Oh, it looks like there's a bit of indecision here and here. I don't know what Snowflake's doing. They're just like, let's maybe no over here. Okay, we got this.
Yeah, this is a really inefficient use of time too. When you have all 5 people just kind of sitting in a lane waiting to make a decision, you're spending a lot of time not accomplishing anything, and that's traditionally very bad in the genre. And here we see them They are coming in. Snowflake does have vision because of the Tacit Oracle. They know where Zeratul is. They know where the whole team is. Let's see how this fight breaks down.
DP is taking a lot of damage right now. Here comes the army. Here comes the Odin and Archon. It gets hit by the LZ Gamer Void Prism. Liquid Chest getting pretty low. He has to back off. Is he going to end up falling? He hits his Divine Storm, only hitting 2 people though. Adrian getting a full strafe off, doing a lot of damage that fight. And we do see 2 people have fallen for Snowflake right now. Making this a 3v4 right now.
Yeah, so Team Glorious on paper won that as a 2-for-1, but they end up losing the Night Camp, and they can't re-engage here because the Odin has almost full health, and Tychus inside of it has a lot of health too, so they're going to have to wait till that Odin goes down to look for a re-engage while they have the 4v3, and if they can make something happen here, that would be fantastic.
Well, they're trying. Here comes Kunluk from the bottom. Faye is definitely going to fall here. LZ Gamer using the Void Prism here, but we have Glaurung and Syracuse on hot pursuit. Idril will make it out, but I don't think LZ will, and suddenly the 2-for-1 turns into a 4-for-1.
Yeah, so really good re-engage there that we saw by Glaurung and Soma. The Zeratul Brightwing, synergically Zeratul blinks over a wall, and then Brightwing gets to use Blink Heal to follow up, and that's the only reason Brightwing could manage to stay in position. So really good use of their abilities right there to stay in contention so they could actually make that re-engage happen when the Odin dropped.
And there we go. I mean, this push seems a bit weird for me from Glorious. It doesn't feel like they can accomplish much here. But, I mean, what else can they be doing? Every other objective on the map, except for the golems on the top right, are... I mean, you can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, they just wanted to put pressure on the mid lane. They used Bribe to take down those ogres, so that mostly that's a denial tactic. They know that if they take those ogres, obviously Snowflake can't get them, and it doesn't cost them anything. A lot of people on Snowflake were down, so they're like, alright, we just go down, take the ogres real quick, maybe show ourselves mid, get some pressure there, so Snowflake's at least cautious, and then we can pull back and secure our ogres, no problem. And then I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't take this small pack of plants, because they're relatively close to 200, and if they got to the 3rd night phase, it would be really easy for them to hit 200, whereas Team Snowflake would take a little bit longer. So I'm surprised they didn't just take the half second or so that it would take for 3 people to just clean up that camp before backing.
It's just something that's going to have to evolve more over time. It's if the map remains unchanged. Better plant management. I mean, we do see them taking it now. They're at 194 versus 166, and
yeah.
It's daytime.
Yep, we are in daytime. That means that you have more sight, and the night terror plant things are going to be having the cooldown start so that they can respawn, which means more seeds available for these teams as we move into the late game. So we're at about 17 minutes 50 seconds. This is when the plants actually start to be relevant. They're going to start hitting hard. They're going to be hitting for about 400, maybe 500 per auto attack. They have that really powerful polymorph ability. When do you expect to see either team start to take advantage of this?
I'd still say we got a good 5-6 minutes before it really becomes something they're going to be like definitely needing to do. It's just that fabled argument. You know, the reason why Dragonite is not such hard. Dragonite actually, you know, has a lot of utility, does a lot of really good damage from the early point. But at this point, it's the point like, is it worth giving up one of our 5 heroics just to get the plant terror out and make the push? And
yeah,
that all comes down to like what's going on in the game.
We're also almost level 20, so we're unlikely to see either team force anything before they hit 20. Now, I don't think there's very much of an experience gap, so it's highly probable that both teams hit 20 at a really, really similar time. And it looks like Glaurung ZP is getting a little damage on LZ Gamer, but he's not that threatened. He has the shield to protect him and the Void Shift. He's not the ideal target to initiate a fight on. And Snowflake, they know that they have Knights pushing top. This means Glorious is going to have to pull back and give up this mid fort to Snowflake, who is posturing very aggressively here.
Yeah, this is smart from Snowflake, utilizing the Knights right now. They know that Kunluk is up there. He does have the ability to fly down, and so does Brightwing with the teleport. But right now, it's a 5v3. Glorious just has to back off. There's no saving this right now.
Yeah. And Snowflake being really good on this aggression, actually coming in exactly in synchronicity with that top lane Night Camp, so Glorious has the smallest window. Although Glorious just hit level 20, they're looking for an engagement. Glaurung coming in, he has the Void Prison up, he wants to find some targets. He's got his eyes on Sheth and Faye, maybe LZ Gamer. Oh, he blinks in. Dismounted LZ Gamer and Sheth, and here's the Void Prison.
Here we go. There goes the shotgun. It does hit only Sheth. He's going down so fast. Tries to keep himself alive. The polymorph does happen, and he does end up falling first step of the fight. Faye did use the Odin, and it looks like Glorious is just going to disengage as soon as that was popped. LZ Gamer is pretty low, but this is the smart decision, just running from that Odin right now. It's such a long cooldown that even with... how many ults did they use? I believe we saw 3. correct? No, we saw 4. We saw.
Oh yeah.
all of
So Team Snowflake actually used Odin. They used Uther Ultimate, and they used one more, I believe. And because the Uther Ghost and the Odin are both time-based effects that are essentially extra power for Team Snowflake, Team Glorious disengaging there is actually fantastic. And that's going to mean that they have a 5v4 against a team who's seriously underpowered. And Keelex and Idra are going to try to go in and make things happen here. And they do have Dark Archon. They're threatening ZPs, but nobody's gone down yet. And Keelex eventually goes down. Looks like ZP's going to fall as well. Glaurung manages to snipe out Idra, goes down for that. And that team fight ends up being not that great, actually, for Team Glorious. They got a little overzealous on that re-engage, ended up trading 2 for 1. The only one they killed there was Idra on the Demon Hunter, and they're going to be down a man for a little while now.
I guess they weren't expecting the Twilight Messiah to do that much damage. LZ Gamer was just chunking them. That Dark Archon is really brutal.
Yeah, the Dark Archon damage is just such a huge spike for Tassadar that even though the Odin was down for Team Snowflake, they still took that team fight, and they had the advantage of being under their keep, which may not seem like that much because the damage isn't really relevant, but the creep wave died really fast in that fight, so all of a sudden Glorious was getting their move speed and attack speed slowed, which meant that they couldn't really get onto those squishy damage dealers of Team Snowflake in order to kill them.
Knights pushing bottom for Glorious, and Sea Giants were taken as well. All 3 lanes are actually being pushed by Mercs for Glorious right now, which is a pretty big advantage. I wonder how they're going to react. Oh, they're just going to take a Terra and they're going to try to take mid fort, you know. This is smart, you know. The Terra is super tanky. As long as he's poking with it and keeps as much as Snowflake in the middle as possible, that leaves Giants to take top, which are doing that right now, and Knights to take bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. This push top is 100% going to get this fort and leave some creep wave left over, which is going to be good for them. They also have Knights pushing bottom, also really good for Glorious. So Glorious, by taking this plant terror, is forcing the 5-man in the mid lane, which is bad for Team Snowflake. But Snowflake countering with their own plant terror, it's going to be a question of whether either team wants to commit and how they decide to deal with these mercenaries.
Wow, Idra just got destroyed by Glaurung, taken from full health to death in just a few seconds. Sheth is running back as far as he can right now. Favor is in favor, or the fight favor is in favor of Glorious right now. Glaurung comes in on LZ. He is in plant mode, doing a decent amount of damage. Void Shift is used. The meter fort does end up falling. Catapults will be spawning mid for Glorious now. They can just back off. They accomplished what they wanted with this fight.
Yeah, they don't even have to back off either because Demon Hunter is dead for 40 seconds. They're going to take this plant down to the bottom lane where they have Knights pushing, and they still have a plant, so until their plant times out, they're way ahead in this fight. And we see Glaurung being absolutely devastating in his harass with Zeratul here. All of the squishies of Team Snowflake have been chunked at least once, and they're fighting from a serious health deficit despite the Uther sustain.
But Syracuse going to be losing his plant terror soon. It ends up falling. Raynor does come out. Keep in mind this is post 16 Raynor. He does lots and lots of damage. Keelex about to lose his plant terror as well. I mean, this fight is pretty much spent for Glorious with Idra spawning in a few seconds. They're going to have to back off.
Yeah, unless they want to take an even quote-unquote 5v5, which they probably don't. The way they've been playing is very conservative. They're really likely they're just going to pull back here and clear out this plant. They're going to give Snowflake a little bit of time to deal with the mercenaries topside, but the exchange rate is very favorable for them because they're going to get a lot of seeds here. They're going to get almost another 100. It's going to free them up to potentially counter the topside plants by Team Snowflake. So it's a good call to back out there and not take an even fight that you don't need to take, because, pro tip, nobody wants to fight a fair fight. You're doing it wrong. So, hard fighting a fair fight, not what you want to do. Taking that keep, backing out, ensuring your team's advantage the longer the game goes by getting those seeds, really good call.
Keep in mind, though, that we are at the late game. We saw in match number 2 that this game can be turned around instantly. Only Arthas has Resurgence for Team Glorious, so if Snowflake can suddenly turn this around and win a team fight, they can just push a lane and win. But we do see the second plant tear coming up from Glorious. Syracuse does end up picking it up. We'll have to see. It does look like Keelex is going to be heading over to that plant tear right now and securing it for his own team. So they're going to try and hold plant tear versus plant tear. I like Keelex delaying it for a few seconds, knowing that he can save some extra time on it by waiting a few seconds.
So, we see another counter plant terror here, and this is the part of the game where the number of seeds that you actually have, your actual seed count, becomes really relevant. LZ in a lot of danger there. Does he go down? Wow, he actually does get taken down, and the Void Prison comes out after that, trapping Idra and Sheth.
And here we go, Odin is popped, doing a lot of damage right now. Felix in the middle of this fight, trying to force Cthulhu to back off. Right now, it's currently 5 versus 2. This is looking bad for Snowflake. This is going to be a tough hole for them. I mean, they do have Odin. FaZe doing a lot of damage in this fight right now. More than likely, though, this keep is going to fall.
Yeah, I think this keep's going to fall, certainly. The Odin doesn't do enough damage to kill the Plant Terror on its own. And, ooh, Glaurung re-engaging on the Odin. He's just getting some good harass damage on there. He has full stacks of Gathering Power, it looks like, so he's going to be doing tons of damage to those squishies, and we saw how effective he was at taking out those low HP heroes, and that is going to be a keep secured for them. Now, they are maybe deciding to fight here. Raynor popped his ultimate. It looks like they're trying to go on the core here while they have the 5v3 advantage. 10 seconds left on Tastar. He has Dark Messiah as soon as he comes up. He likes re-engaging with that leap onto Cothan like Soma, but it's not enough damage. He has no backline to help him out. And Faye getting zoned out of the fight, only able to hit CPs, and this looks like the core is going to go down. I don't know if Tastar can save it.
Keelak's trying to do his best to keep us alive. Here comes Elz again, like you said, though. That Dark Messiah doing so much damage. Cthulhu getting almost 3-shot. Does have to back off. Syracuse trying to right-click this down. Glaurung does end up falling in. This could have been a huge mistake for Glorious Gaming. They have a minute till their teammates are up. It's currently a 4 versus 2 against a Falstad and an Arthas. But there's just too much pushing them. They have the catapults pushing each lane. I don't know if Snowflake can just push across the map and take a fort.
Yeah, Snowflake doesn't have enough damage on Team Glorious's base. If Snowflake had killed even one keep in a lane, they might be able to threaten the core here with those long death timers this late in the game. But all of the keeps are at full health. The only one that's even marginally hurt is the bottom lane keep, and that means that Snowflake is going to have a really hard time finding a way to get advantage back in this game. They're trying to force this bottom keep. Let's see if they can do it.
Well, here they go, coming in right now. They got about 20 seconds until someone is up. It's ZP and Cthulhu trying their hardest to hold here. They don't have Tasser with them, so they're lacking the shield. Faye and Idra have a lot of damage, though. They could do some decent damage, but they're just going to back off, knowing that they'd end up losing 1 or 2 people if they were to try and go for this.
Yeah, and Keelex is now about to get caught, it looks like. Brightwing is teleporting onto the Arthas. Arthas, oh my god, a huge concussion grenade actually knocks Arthas forward, and that means that Keelex is going to go down.
Something I really want to point out about Glaurung's play is most Zeratul, you see them like, oh, they do decent damage, but they're mainly the utility. Not when Glaurung's playing. The combo of talents he's doing with a blink and you teleport out, you do as much damage as possible and you leave. He's actually top damage in-game on Zeratul right now with 50k.
That is really uncommon. Most
yeah,
Zeratools do not deal highest damage in-game, especially when there's such strong range DPS here. The Rapid Displacement, Gathering Power, Rending Cleave, Wormhole, Double Bombs build, doing a lot of work for him, and he's really, really pulling his team together and getting those pickoffs.
Dark Arc on there. Idra in a full strafe here. Soma comes down, look, that thing is so low. Glaurung is EPS trying to take it down. Will be able to kill it. Oh my gosh. That's a complete wipe. There is no resurgence. Is Snowflake just gonna win?
Wow, Glorious just Rambos the core again, and they might actually lose now because Snowflake has 4 people up, and Barbarian's gonna be up. Yeah, no resurgence is up on Team Glorious. Was that the suicide push that actually cost him the game? They didn't manage to get the core super low. Okay, Team Snowflake 100% going to get the keep. Can they force the core, or will they learn from their opponent's mistakes and back off?
They got over 20 seconds to take this. They got Demon Hunter and a Tychus here. I mean, they've got this. Like, this is going to fall. I can't believe this. Another one of these wins, man, twice today. There's the stray from Idra. Look how fast that thing is falling. They got 13 seconds until Brightwing is up. 10 seconds on Falstad, but that's too long. There's Keelax. GG, Snowflake.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, in that first teamfight loss at the core, that was surprising to me that they didn't get it. It was really close.